Leave it in God's hands. God sees your pain and hears your cry. Andrew Murray. Have you ever felt as though heaven had gone silent, as though your prayers rise in tears but fall back with no reply? Maybe today your soul is weary, longing for a sign, longing for a whisper from God and a movement in the stillness. But what if I told you God is not distant? He is nearer than ever when all feels quiet. Andrew Murray once wrote, "It is in the waiting that faith is purified and trust learns to rest in God alone." Today, I want to share a sacred truth with you. God's timing is never delay. It is divine preparation. And if you can hold on through the silence, you may discover that God has been working more deeply than you ever imagined. Waiting is never easy. At times, it feels like walking through a desert, dry, silent, and endless. But beloved, know this: God never wastes the waiting. As Andrew Murray taught, God is not only the author of our faith, but the one who perfects it in the waiting, in the silence, in the stillness. Many faithful servants have passed through this valley. Their hearts cried out, but the heavens seemed quiet. Yet even then, God was not absent. He was working beneath the surface, shaping their souls, deepening their trust, and drawing them into closer surrender. Jesus extends this gentle invitation in Matthew 11:28. "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." This is more than comfort. It is a holy promise. There is rest, not in answers, but in Him. Today, I invite you to open your heart. We will walk together through the Scriptures, discovering the sacred art of waiting on God. And as you listen, may your faith be renewed, not because your wait ends, but because you begin to see God in the wait. God's delays are not denials. One of the greatest trials in waiting is the quiet temptation to believe that silence means no. But beloved, delay is not denial. Delay is the hand of God, carefully, eternally, arranging His perfect will. In John chapter 11, we see this lived out in the lives of Mary and Martha. They sent word to Jesus, "Our brother is sick." They expected Him to come immediately, but Jesus waited. And in the waiting, Lazarus died. When Jesus finally arrived, their grief broke into words. "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." John 11:21. But Jesus had not abandoned them. He answered not in haste, but in glory. This sickness will not end in death, but is for the glory of God. John 11:4. And before their eyes, He called the dead to life. Andrew Murray once wrote, "Let no delay shake your faith, for the very delay is full of blessing." God is never idle. When God seems slow, He is not still. He is working in realms we cannot see, preparing what is better, deeper, and richer than what we imagined. The prophet Isaiah reminds us, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are your ways my ways. So are my ways higher than your ways." Isaiah 55:8-9. We live in a restless age where answers must be instant and silence feels like rejection. But God's time is not measured by clocks. It is guided by eternity. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and He will make your path straight. Proverbs 3:5-6. Murray often emphasized, true faith rests not in what we see, but in who God is, even when He waits. So maybe you've been praying for healing, for clarity, for breakthrough, and all you've received is stillness. But let your soul rest in this: God is not late. What feels like stillness is actually invisible movement. What feels like silence is actually quiet mercy. The delay is not punishment. It is God's way of saying, "I am still writing the best chapter of your story." Patience is a virtue. Patience is not a passive virtue. It is a sacred work that God performs in the heart that waits. Among the greatest trials of the Christian walk is to wait, not just in time, but in trust. And yet, it is in this very waiting that God forges character. James 5:7-8 tells us, "Be patient then, brothers and sisters, until the Lord's coming." See how the farmer waits for the land to yield its valuable crop, patiently waiting for the autumn and spring rains. The farmer knows his role. He does not command the rain nor force the seed to sprout. He works, he waters, and he waits, trusting the unseen process. So it is with those who walk with God. Andrew Murray wrote, "Waiting on God must be as continuous as breathing. It is the essence of a soul surrendered." In the waiting, we do not waste time. We're being formed. Romans 5:3-4 reveals the divine sequence. Suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. See the beauty in that order. Patience, character, hope. Not escape from suffering, but transformation through it. The waiting is not about enduring time. It is about becoming like Christ. Instead of saying, "Lord, answer me quickly," perhaps the prayer of the mature heart is, "Lord, teach me what you desire me to know in this season." Murray would often remind his readers, God is more concerned with what we become than what we receive. He waits for us to wait well. So if you feel tired, if the silence weighs heavy, remember, this delay is holy ground. Each quiet day is a stone in the foundation of something eternal. The Lord is shaping you, gently, deeply, purposefully. Don't rush the work. Don't take shortcuts. Don't stop trusting. The fruit that lasts is never forced. It is grown in surrender. Trust in God's perfect timing. God is never late. God is never late. He is never early. He moves exactly when His wisdom decrees the moment is full. In Genesis 21, the Lord fulfilled a promise that human reason had long deemed impossible. Abraham was 100 years old, Sarah 90. Yet, in the twilight of their strength, Isaac was born, the son of promise. This is not a story about age or human limitation. It is a testimony to divine timing, that God fulfills every word He speaks when His purpose is right. Andrew Murray wrote, "There is no delay with God. Each moment of waiting is a thread in His perfect design." Romans 8:28 reassures us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." Yes, God is always working, even when we cannot trace His hand. He works through silence. He works in sorrow. He works while we wait. But waiting is more than endurance. It is training. Often, what we ask for is ready, but we are not. And in His love, God will not grant what we are not yet prepared to carry. Have you considered that the answer is delayed because God is shielding you, because He is cultivating deeper faith, greater humility, fuller dependence? Murray once said, "To wait on God is to rest in the quiet assurance that He sees the whole picture, while we see only a corner." God's timing is precise, like a heavenly clock that never misses a beat. He does not move to appease our anxiety, nor does He delay when the moment has arrived. If you feel uncertain about what lies ahead, take a deep breath. Rest in this. God knows the hour, He knows the way, and He will not fail. So wait, not in frustration, but in faith, because when the time is full, God will move, and His purpose will shine brighter than your expectation. Find peace in God's timing. Waiting can be painful. It stretches the soul, exposes the heart, and confronts our desire for control. But waiting can also be holy. It becomes transforming when we choose to rest in the Lord. Psalm 46:10 whispers to us, "Be still and know that I am God." This is not merely a call to silence, it is a summons to confident surrender, a calming of the soul before the throne of sovereignty. Andrew Murray taught, "The soul that has learned to wait on God no longer strives, no longer fears. It rests." We often chase peace by trying to fix what hurts, to answer what confuses, to force what only heaven can fulfill. But true peace does not come from resolution. It comes from release. Philippians 4:6-7 invites us, "Do not be anxious about anything, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." This peace is not found in outcomes. It is found in God Himself. The waiting is not empty. It is a classroom, a sacred space where the Father teaches trust, cultivates contentment, and deepens maturity. To have peace in waiting is not to deny the ache. It is to believe in the midst of it. It is to say, Lord, I do not understand, but I trust. I do not see, but I believe. Murray would remind us, your unrest is not caused by waiting. It is caused by resistance. When you yield, peace will come. Perhaps today you need to stop striving. Lay down the weight of what only God can carry. The peace you seek may be waiting on the other side of surrender. Remember, God does not hurry to prove He is present. He is already working, quietly, perfectly, faithfully. If you would listen, if you would quiet your heart, you may hear it. Be still, my child. I am here. I am working. Wait in peace. Have faith in God's supreme sovereignty. There are seasons when life feels unmoored. Our prayers echo without reply, our plans unravel, and our hearts receive answers we never asked for. But there is one truth that anchors the soul. God is sovereign, always. Proverbs 19:21 assures us, many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. God never loses control, not in the delay, not in the disappointment, not even in the silence. Andrew Murray taught, surrender to God's sovereignty is not resignation, it is rest. It is the soul trusting that the throne in heaven rules all things. Psalm 103, verse 19 declares, the Lord has established His throne in heaven, and His kingdom rules over all. God's sovereignty is not an abstract truth. It is a present comfort for the weary, the confused, the waiting. To know that God reigns is to know that no tear is wasted, no delay is purposeless, no season is random. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. This does not mean the journey will be smooth, but it means nothing lies outside His loving plan. Even the moments that feel wasted are threads in a tapestry of eternity. Murray would remind us, to believe in God's sovereignty is to rest before we understand, to obey before we see, and to worship before we are delivered. Maybe today you feel worn down by waiting, tired of hoping, tired of trusting, but let this sink deep into your heart. God has not forgotten you. God has not lost control, and He will not fail. Trust in His supreme sovereignty. The one who created time knows exactly when to act, and when He moves, it will all make sense. Until then, wait in surrender, walk in hope, rest in faith. He is still writing your story, and His stories always end in grace, purpose, and redemption. Perhaps you are tired of praying without hearing, tired of waiting without seeing. But today, hear this gentle truth. The waiting is not punishment, it is care. God is working in the silence. He is shaping your soul. He is preparing the very best at the very right time. Andrew Murray wrote, in every trial of faith, God is drawing you to Himself, not to punish, but to prepare. This season, yes, even this one, is a season of growth, of refinement, of intimacy. So, dear brother, dear sister, do not give up. Do not give in to discouragement. Your Father sees every tear. He hears every whispered prayer. And when the time is full, He will move. And on that day, you will look back and say, it was worth the wait. If this message touched your heart, write in the comments, God is in control of my waiting. Declare it in faith and let others be strengthened by your testimony. If this word blessed you, like the video, share it with someone who needs to be reminded of God's timing. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss a word that builds your faith and draws you closer to the Lord. May the peace of Christ guard your heart. May your hope remain steady. And may you walk day by day toward the beautiful fulfillment of every promise God has spoken over your life. Goodbye.